That was You Will Know about Black Men United. You Will Know. Once again, that was back in 1995, like with Jason's lyric. You know what I'm saying? That's when soundtracks was huge. Yeah. But the most important thing about that song is that it's talking about the maturation process of young boys growing up to be black men, okay? And the fact of the matter is that's important. And I know I started to show off hard. And you know what? I'm not apologizing for it because we need to hear that. And I put it upon myself, and you know, through the power of God, I realize if I don't say a lot of stuff that I say, it's not gonna get said. It's just not. And you know, just because some people may disagree with it, that don't make it wrong. But with that being said, we're gonna transition. Let me introduce y'all to somebody that you know I admire, and I'm gonna say it like that. This is a man that when I was starting my journey of being SPEAKROC and letting my voice be heard and exercising my strength in what I do. Long story short, ran into this brother to an event. It was a matter of fact, it was at Mac Alive, but it was an event that this brother actually orchestrated, put together along with his team. And towards the end of the event, I was getting ready to leave, and I just said, I don't know what it was, but I said I got to meet this brother. I got to go up there, take a picture, take a picture with his team, and just get in this brother's space. Yeah. Come to find out, that situation blossomed into him vibing, as we say. He caught the vibes of saying like, this dude might be all right. Yeah. So I think we exchanged numbers or contacts, whatever. Then he reached back out to me probably some months later and was like, yo, Rock, come through. I'm going to be over here, at a type of mentoring that I'm doing. Come through. And I was like, all right, got it. Too easy. Yeah. So I come over there. Once again, him and I, we chop it up. We vibe. Then I'm seeing how this guy is moving, what he's doing, how how his movement is just growing. And I'm like, man, something is serious about this guy. Mm-hmm. So time goes on, and he's always throwing out olive branches. Like, Rock, yo, this is popping off. Come through. Right. And I'm like, okay, got it. This guy, he's a good guy. And with that being said, let me explain to you is, he has an organization called S.A.V.E. S.A.V.E. is an acronym that means stopping all violence everywhere. Okay, stopping all violence everywhere. And this thing has branched out. It's an incubator in the city of Detroit, but it has branched out to multiple cities. I know I'm not going to catch them all, but he's in Baltimore. He's in L.A. He's in Chicago. He's in Phoenix. And, that's just some of them. Right. This is a situation where a tragic incident turned him into an activist to say, look, we got to stop violence. And it was something that was near and dear to his heart. He's taken it and he's made even a clothing line, and he has apparel to go along. And one of the catchphrases he likes to say all the time, wear the message. There you go. Wear the message. It can be a hat. It can be a jersey. It can be a hoodie. It can be a t-shirt, whatever you call it. But it's catching fire. It's spreading like wildfire. And I'm going to tell you something. When I saw it, hey, I love Detroit with everything that's in me. Uh-huh. But when you see the acronym mixed with Detroit and you see the spirit of this man, it really explains a lot about the power of people and the power of words. So with all that being said, let me end it with this. Not only is he just making apparel and he's spreading the message through clothing items, this is an individual who has hosted numerous events, basketball events to stop the violence, back to school events where he's passing out bikes, book bags full of school materials, throwing barbecues, you name it, participating in mentor groups, sharing his message from him being a youth, the tragic situation that helped him to grow into what he is today. And last but not least, definitely not least, his partner, the love of his life, which is not here, which is his wife, and they together have really formulated this movement, this entity, if you will, called S.A.V.E. Without further ado, I want to introduce you all to my brother, a blessed man of God, Mr. John Williams.
Hey, what's up, Rock? What's up,
What
man?
up, brother?
You
How
right?
you doing, man?
Chilling.
I'm good.
Appreciate you for having me come.
No problems, man. Thanks for coming, dude.
Yeah.
I know time is busy, but look, I really want to get into to you.
Mm-hmm.
I want to talk about let's talk about young John.
Mm-hmm.
Where did this servant leadership spirit come from? This give back spirit.
Well, when I was younger, we used to have a center called Inner City Sub Center around the corner from my house,
Mm-hmm.
and it was a gentleman who ran it was Paul Taylor, and he was like our father away from home. So I kind of looked up to him, how he used to, take care of the neighborhood. He used to give back to the neighborhood. He used to like feed us lunches. We had basketball, baseball, anything he can do to help us in the neighborhood. He did it. So
Right.
I kind of like gravitated to that because I didn't have a father.
Okay.
So I kind of looked up to Paul, man. So this all came together, looking up to him.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
as you was looking at it, so you played ball.
Yeah.
On the east side of Detroit.
That's right. East
And
side.
you went to Kettering,
I
right?
went to Kettering. Actually, I went to Joyce, Barber, and
Okay.
Kettering, all East Side schools.
Right.
Yep.
And you played basketball
I played
all the way
sports and
through.
all- Yeah, all the way through.
All right, so talk to me about how you merged the two, as far as you being influenced by your coach,
Mm-hmm.
Being the giving person that you are. Because if I'm not mistaken, you did tournaments even as a youth.
Yeah, I've been on
Like, how did that come about?
I was the basketball man in the neighborhood, so I always, wherever it was a ball that I played, east, west, southwest, I played basketball, so I knew everybody. So it wasn't a problem for me to get everybody together to come play basketball.
Okay.
And then you make it a big thing when you say tournament. Back
Yeah.
then everybody wanted, when you say tournament, everybody wanted to be a part of it.
Right.
So, and then my name was stamped on it, so
Right.
one thing led to another. So yeah, I had a ball doing it, man.
That's good,
Yeah.
man. And this is something that you still carry on
Yeah.
to today.
To this day,
Now,
same person.
Let's do this. Let's go ahead and jump right into something that's near and dear to your heart.
Mhm.
Because I've heard the story a number of times,
Mhm.
but I want you to explain it for the people so they can really understand where this brand, where this entity, where this business, where it came from. Let's talk about your friend that unfortunately was slain, that was murdered, lost his life, and I believe that's what gave birth
to S.A.V.E. Yep.
to S.A.V.E. Talk about that.
What happened was I had went off to school. Me and the guy graduated high school together, which was in '94. So I ended up going to school. I went to Ferris a couple of years, and then I ended up going to Selma, Alabama for a year. So I was going away from the hood for a while. So just so happened, me and my grandmother was sitting on the porch, and my buddy pulled up. I hadn't seen him in a while, by me leaving, going to school or whatever. I hadn't seen him for a while. So him and the guy pulled up, and he was getting out the car. But when he was getting out the car, I seen him pull a gun out. So I you sit back and watch what was going on. He was about to shoot the guy across the street from my grandma's house. So my grandmother knew what was going on in the neighborhood, so she was telling me, Johnny, stay out of it. Don't get in the middle of that. But I knew both of the guys. I knew the one he was about to get into it with. Plus, I knew, my homeboy. So I go off the porch. I call his name, whatever. I don't really want to say his name, but I call his name, and he turned around, and it was in shock, like, like you ain't seen a person in a while. He's like, John, man, what's up? So we get to kicking out, telling where I was at, and how long I was gone, and this, that, and the third, or whatever. And the guy that he was getting into it with, he ended up running in the house or whatever, and it just like kind of killed the whole situation. They get in the van. It was a van they was in. They get in the van. They pull off. Mm-hmm. So later on that night, I get a call. They like, man, you hear what happened to so and so, so and so? I'm like, yeah, I just seen him earlier, man. I stopped a situation on my grandma. Right, when me and my grandmother sitting on the porch, I stopped the situation. So they like, man, he got killed in front of his kids, and it kind of hurt me because it felt like I got in the middle of something I shouldn't have got in the middle of. But after his funeral, we went. After his funeral, we went to his funeral or whatever. After his funeral, he came to me in a dream, and it was like, John, you're the type of person that can push this. You can push some of it, if not all, some out this violence out your city. So I go home to my wife. I say, I want to put a message on a T-shirt. It was just supposed to be a message. Stopping all violence everywhere. But the way she designed it, when you look at it, it's like it say "save." It just fell into place. So when you look at everything is off site. Everything you look at is off site. And when you look at it, it do look like it say "save." So we went from there. I made sure I trademarked, patented or whatever. Everything to cover yourself, and it ain't don't turn it back. It ain't look back.
Okay.
Yep.
Now,
but I lost my friend, man, a buddy of mine.
Now, at that time, how old were you at that time?
This was in '08, so I had to be, what, I'm 42 now, so, wow. How old was I? 20-something? 23, 24?
Okay.
Yep.
Young still.
Young.
Like,
yep.
That's
Actually,
like,
I was 22.
Yeah.
I was 22. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Young. Pretty young. And it was to the point, like, you see a person 1 minute and you won't see him again.
Right.
Especially off not him dying, you know, natural cause, somebody took his life.
Right.
And that's something different. You know what I'm saying? His time, to me, his time wasn't up. You know what I mean? He had a lot to do out here, but he was young too. We both was young, so he just chose a different route than I did.
Now, I just want to get a little personal and just answer this how you will. I know at 22, I know for me, you know, I haven't always been this calm young man that you see before you now.
Right.
For me, I know at that time, I would have been thinking something else.
Oh, yeah.
I've been thinking about, I'm going to get some get back.
Yeah. It crossed your mind a couple times. And then back then, I had some guys, some soldiers with me that all I had to do was say, let's go. And they've been on. So, but I always was a leader, Rock, man. Believe it or not, my grandmother, my granddaddy raised me different, man. I always was a leader. So I'm not going to do what everybody else do. I'm not going to do what another person do. I'm not going to say what another person going to do. I'm going to do what John do. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Just like my friend lost his life, the guy who did it, you know, his family are mourning over him if something happened to him.
Right.
So it crossed, like you, as he being my friend and me knowing, it do cross your mind, like, you know, let's go, you know, let's see what happened and who did it, you know, it's a get back. But no, I wasn't that type of guy, man. I never was that type of guy.
Yeah. And I had to ask that because people, you know, still try to phrase Detroit in a manner of like, it's so much violence now.
Mm-hmm.
And I've seen things like what you described. I've seen things like that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I saw the retaliation
from
a situation like that.
Yeah.
So I'm painting a picture for people to understand that, you know, God had a purpose for this situation in allowing you to blossom in constructive energy versus destructive energy.
Yep.
And because it could have been easy to do.
Oh yeah, it could have went left bad.
Yeah,
it could have went left, especially back then. It could have went left real bad.
Yeah, absolutely.
But what you saying? A pastor told me the same thing. He said, man, if that wouldn't happen to your homeboy, this wouldn't even started.
Wow.
So this here is saving a lot of lives, man. Too bad you lost a friend of yours to start this, but look what you started, and it's amazing what I done started, man.
Real, yeah.
Real.
Hey, now you talked about your wife, right? As she laid it out, you know, and you said, man, that the acronym. It seems like there's an acronym there, S.A.V.E.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when y'all first came up with the first logo, it was actually a cursive.
Yeah. It was like girly. A lot of guys would wear it because it was girly. You know, it was like cursive. Right. But it had the Renaissance, and it was like S.A.V.E. with the S, you know, like you wrote it in cursive or whatever. Yeah. But a lot of guys wouldn't wear it.
Okay.
So it wouldn't catch. You know, it wouldn't catch like I wanted it to.
Even though the message was potent.
The same message. Yeah, it's the same message, but its design was different.
There's a message within a message in that. Listen to what you're saying. You're talking about marketing. You're talking about creativity. You see what I mean? Yeah. Like, this just isn't... That goes to show me you put energy into this. This isn't just, fly by night, whatever it is. I'm going to print it on a shirt, and guess what? Buy it. Like, anybody buy it. No, this means something. So I'm glad that we covered, you know, with your friend. You know, there's backing to this.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. This explains to you as a man, because in a lot of ways, I always refer to you as Mr. Say. And the reason why I say that is because this came out of you. You know, God placed this in you for it to come out. Like, this just isn't like, I'm just saying something.
Oh, no, it means something.
Yeah.
And what's so funny, the dream I had about it, you know, you never finish a dream.
Okay.
And I went back to sleep the next day and it finished. You know, it kind of scared me because you never really, it started right back up the same way that I was dreaming the day before, you know. So, that year, me and my wife was going out to Vegas. Okay. And I've just put it on, I put some bull crap together on the shirt. It said "S.A.V.E. Detroit" with the tiger. You know, I was thinking of the Tigers, the baseball team. Tigers.
Yeah.
So I put it on I put the Tigers in the front, and I put "S.A.V.E." and Detroit at the bottom. Yeah. Man, when I say set Las Vegas on fire, everybody, man, where you get that "S.A.V.E. Detroit" shirt from? That's hot. And I'm thinking to myself, like, did some bull crap. You know what I'm saying? So it went from there. So when we left Vegas, my wife, as we was walking to the plane, she's like, John, you got something. God gave you something. You got to roll with it. You got to go, put your foot on it. Just go ahead. But in 08 and 07, 09, 08 and 09, I got discouraged because I was going to people to try to support it. Like, wear this shirt, man, and say it's coming, it's on the way, it's something positive, and people were shooting it down at the time. Right. My peers, people I done went to school with, people I, grew up with, family members would shoot it down. So it kind of discouraged me, and I stopped. I stopped pushing my brand, pushing S.A.V.E. Detroit, or whatever the case may be. But what happened was when I lost my job at Greek Time, I was there, 15 years. I lost my job, and I was thinking to myself, man, I want to push my shirt again. So I just really recently started pushing it the last 3-4 years. I lost a lot of time in between, but, everything is in divine order. It's going to fall in place, and look what it's doing now.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep. Man, I'm sitting here listening like, the power of a wife. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, that's huge to me, and that's why and she's here with us in spirit because I want people to understand. Like, once again, there's a lot going on in this, and I'm the kind of person, I'm gonna say it. The SPEAKROC show, I'm gonna say it the way I feel it. Look, the black family. Black marriage, come on. People are like, why are you throwing black on everything? Because I can. That's number one. Number two is because the people where we're from, we got people that look like us that's always looking for something. Right. What you always have a saying that, what does right look like? Right. It matters. It matters. We stop glossing over, that's just a black dude with a shirt. No. That's a black entrepreneur.
Trying to move it.
Okay? Yeah. Not trying, doing, dude. I ain't going with the try. You did. You already, you were honest and candid enough to say, hey, look, I feel back a little bit because, once again, message people, why are we discrediting people? Right. Why are we shunning people away from something that's personal to somebody? Like we don't have to do that. But it means to me, and I opened up the statement when I was explaining to you that, dude, I was just admiring from afar. I was admiring in your presence and admiring from afar. I was like, man, that's a creator right there. There's didn't know what it was, but I was like, this guy is doing something. And I can honestly say, and watch this. I think this is important to say. I don't know everything about you. I don't know your middle name. Right. I don't know. But do I have to? Right. To be able to pick up on, as they say, the vibes. Yeah,
genuine.
You see what I mean?
Yeah, you pick up on
not only that, just being authentic. Just and I've seen it on a number of times. I think the last time we was together, we was at a mentoring session, and I had spoke that day. Okay. And you had invited another brother through.
Yeah, my boy Will. Big
fan. Yeah. He was like, I told him come through.
Yeah. Yeah, I ran into him at Walmart. Like that. Yeah, I ran into him at Walmart. Told him I didn't believe he was gonna show up, man. He was telling me what he did. I said, man, show up, man. I need you to come talk to the kids. But like I say, man, when I put my stamp on, some people kind of like gravitate to it. Man, no, you ain't got to say no more. What time? What day? What color to wear? Yeah.
But tell me, why are you doing that though? Why are you? Why are you, instead of just saying, you know what, S.A.V.E. is all about S.A.V.E. I'm just, if it ain't got nothing to do with S.A.V.E., I ain't doing it. But you reach out. You always try to put people on and put people in positions to succeed. Why do you do that?
You know why, Rock, man? Because everybody else do it. We like the only ones that don't. I hate saying we, but we are the only ones that don't do it. We don't help each other. We don't uplift each other. We don't connect. You know what I'm saying? But everybody else do it, and they look down at us. Believe it or not, man, I hate to say it. My viewers, please don't take this the wrong way. But we are the toughest people, man. And to get along together, to help each other. You know what I mean? Just like I told you when I first started my shirt, my friends actually shot it down. Shot my shirt down. Why would I wear your shirt? And the other one, I went over her house, the shirt was in the garbage. Little stuff like that, you know. But I do it, honestly, man, because I was around it. My grandmother was like that. She fed all the kids in the neighborhood with nothing, you know what I'm saying? Like, people used to ask me, man, can I call your grandma? You know, stuff like that. So I've been around it. So, you know, a lot of people sound sensitive, but it's how I was raised. Right. You know, my granddaddy and my grandmother raised me genuine, man. Right. Stand on your, 2 feet. You know, be a man, always work. Treat people like you want to be treated. Yeah. And I stand on that. You know what I mean? Right. So if you do something towards me, I feel some type of way, because I know I wouldn't have did it to you. You know what I mean? Period. But as far as me telling other people and helping other people, that's what we supposed to do. What are we here for?
Yeah.
What are we here for if we don't do that? I'll call you, Rock, man, what you think about this? Or even that situation I had with so and so, and the first person I called was you, because I know you're not gonna take sides. You're gonna give it to me cut and dry. You know what I mean? Just certain stuff, man. We all gotta bring that back to each other. You know what I mean? We gotta bring that. Be authentic. We men, man. Everybody men, and we got a generation behind us that we got to do the same thing for them.
Right.
Because like I said, Paul Taylor did it for me. A guy did it for me. He didn't have to do what he did for us in the neighborhood, and everybody respected him. So that's the same thing I want. I want people to respect me, and I'm trying to pull everybody up. I'm trying to move people with me. So now, it's hard. It's a hard fight, but you got to keep doing it.
Speaking of hard fight, because some could say that's a pretty lofty goal that you have there. Stopping all violence everywhere. Think about it. Stopping all violence everywhere.
Yeah.
I admire that, because why not shoot for the stars?
Right.
Why not go for the gusto? Why not?
Right.
What's wrong with speaking boldly like that? I like that.
I'm going at it.
But tell me this. What do you see? What is the 5-year plan? What is the 10-year plan? What is the future plan for S.A.V.E. in the aspects of stopping all violence everywhere?
Well, my biggest thing, man, I'm trying to work on getting a community center.
Okay.
It started with our youth, honestly, Rob. If we don't catch them at a certain age, man, as far as they gone. After 17, 18, you really can't tell them nothing. They already in their mode. We was coming up. Once we get 18, 19 years old, it's over. I'm trying to catch them before they get to that.
Okay.
And the reason why I'm saying that is because, like I said, I grew up without a father.
Okay.
And a lot of these kids don't have their dads, man. And their mothers is like almost the same age as them. I ain't never seen a lot of grandmas is 35 and 30, and these kids having kids. So if I get a community center, man, we can start teaching them. That's the only way. That's the only way, man, because social media raising these kids, YouTube raising these kids, the parents not at home, the father's not at home. So I want to base myself around a community center. Not only here, but in other cities too. If I can get them with all I'm saying, S.A.V.E., it's a community center, that's what I'm shooting for.
All right.
Yep.
All right.
Yep.
And now when you say have a community center, a place basically where they can learn,
safe haven,
grow, thrive, develop. Let me ask you this, and now this might be a little, I don't know if you thought about it or not. How are you recreating yourself? How are you recreating S.A.V.E., the vision, the mission of S.A.V.E. in others?
That's a deep question. I ain't had that question before.
Got to.
Yeah, you got me. The message alone, man, it stands for something.
Right.
You know what I mean? Even like when people wearing it, they run it to other people. Man, John or S.A.V.E. Detroit, you got on the S.A.V.E. Detroit, just like incident just happened. My friend called me from Vegas. He said he had on his S.A.V.E. St. Louis shirt. And he said, I'm the hoodie. And he said the guy came in and was like, man, my brother wear the same logo. It looked like the same thing, but he'd say S.A.V.E. Detroit. He from Detroit. He's like, yeah, that's the same guy, John. Then they hung out. They ended up hanging out the whole weekend. Okay. You know what I mean? So just bridging gaps, man. The message alone bridging gaps, and I'm seeing it. It's like a snowball effect. I'm seeing it. A lot of people reaching out. A lot of people hanging out with each other just because of either me or S.A.V.E. Detroit or whatever the case may be, and it's working. Whatever God gave me, man, it's honestly working. I just gotta put my foot down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess I asked that question because I believe that when you recreate yourself, that is the bridge, and that is the extension of longevity. A lot of people like to recreate themselves in their seed. Some people recreate themselves through mentorship. But I think that's important because in order for this to live on, like if you look at a lot of companies, Ford, name a company, Walt Disney, whatever.
They switch it up.
It's passed down, man.
Yeah.
Even if there's not near the direct bloodline, these are people who bought into the vision.
Right, exactly.
Yeah. And they start off either as workers, then executives or what have you. So I see this as one of those
kind of entities. Yeah.
Absolutely. Why not?
I see it too.
It can be global.
Yeah.
Why not?
Yeah.
You already said stopping violence, stopping all violence everywhere.
Yeah.
This is a global. Violence doesn't discriminate.
Oh, no.
Violence doesn't say, oh, that Pacific Ocean, I'm gonna stop. you know.
Right, they're gonna keep going.
Yeah,
right.
you know,
right.
they go, yo, the Michigan and Ohio border,
Yeah.
I'm gonna stop.
Yeah.
No, this is everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
So with that being said, you know, when we talk about violence,
Mm-hmm.
okay, I want to know on a day to day. Now I don't know if you're a media type person, if you watch the news.
Mm-hmm.
I know a lot of people despise the news.
I despise it.
Like me, I like the news.
Yeah,
I like to be aware. I use the news for what I want to use it for.
Okay.
I'm a chew the meat, spit out the bone kind of guy.
Okay.
Like you ain't gonna bamboozle me or hoodwink me and get me yo Black Friday, go out now. No, I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
You're not gonna force me to go out somewhere.
Yeah.
Well, watch this. You know, look what Trump doing. I don't care.
Right.
I'm looking to see what's going on in my neighborhood. I'm looking to see what's going on in my state.
Mm-hmm.
What's going on with gas prices? How much milk costs?
See,
that kind of thing.
I'm a little different. I don't watch it because it kind of weigh on me.
Okay.
Like I was telling you there about my niece. I don't like her taking Lyft and stuff like that.
Right.
Just because I'm hearing what people say on social media or the news.
Right.
You know, kidnapping of these girls and you know a lot of stuff. The reason why I don't listen to it because it do weigh on me.
Okay.
I get to worrying about my wife when she going to the car or she's
Understood.
leaving work, and so I don't like entertain. I really don't entertain the news like that.
Okay.
Yeah, then
so because that was gonna. Because, you know, there was a situation, and if you don't watch the news, you don't know nothing about it.
Yeah,
but
yeah,
with that being said, there was a young lady at Clark, you know, Clark Atlanta University down in Georgia, and she was just murdered by 2 people from Michigan. You know, they all went to school down there at Clark, and yeah, 2 people from Michigan, they strangled the girl or suffocated her and threw her in a So my question to you is, being that you're a champion to stop violence, how does it affect you personally when you hear? I mean, because eventually, unless you live in a box,
yeah. I mean,
you gotta hear something. Like, how does that affect you personally?
It affect me because you know I got aunties, I got cousins, I got family, and then I don't want it to hit home. You know what I mean? I don't want it to. I couldn't imagine somebody that did something to one of mine, or somebody that choked somebody, or killed somebody, or somebody of mine. So I can kind of imagine what these families going through. You know what I mean? And it's. I know it's the way of the world, but that's why I don't entertain it. Because like I said, weigh on me. I get to worrying. I'm one of them type of guys that worry. You know, call my wife every 5 minutes. You all right? Or you ain't made it home yet? You know, because it weighs on me. So I don't entertain it. Yeah.
Let me just share with us all strategies. Now you say it's about reaching the youth at a certain age. Okay, what are strategies that you share with young people to combat violence?
My strategy, honestly, Rock man, I'm gonna be totally honest with you. My strategy is telling my story.
Okay.
Because I never had problems. Just being myself, I never had problems. Like I was telling you earlier, I never been jumped on, slapped, guy ain't never shot me, none of that. You know, it's how I carry myself. You know what I'm saying? Once you carry yourself a certain way, I guess the world will bring it back to you. And I honestly believe that, man. I'm 43 years old, man. I ain't really had no confrontation.
Okay.
And I've been in the trenches. I mean, I'm off Mac, man. I'm off where it's really at. You know what I mean? In the 90s and the 80s, man, Mac Avenue was kind of treacherous, and I walked that mud without even looking over my back, over my shoulders. It's because I carried myself. And then sports kind of kept me away from it, too. By me playing basketball, I was pretty good in basketball. A lot of people respected me because of that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
And I ain't had no problems. I really ain't had no problems. And that's what I instill into these kids, man. You be yourself. You don't have to be no follower. You can be yourself. It's gonna be people that don't like you. It's gonna be people that's gonna like you. That's the way of the world. You know, that's how it goes. So
yeah.
That's how it is. Let's
talk
about bad
example.
Yeah,
go ahead.
What you were saying, a bad example. You know, giving my story, what I've been through. You know, I grew up without my mother. My mother died when I was 12.
Okay.
I never had a father. I found out my father was right next door. My whole life, I didn't know he was my father until I was 19.
Okay.
I got 3 older brothers. I got 2 other sisters that I don't, hear from. I don't know. That stayed right next door to me as neighbors, but they was my sisters and brothers. But that's how it is. Everybody got a story, but with my story, man, it's kind of deep. You know what I mean? It's kind of, like you said earlier, the kids can't tell you nothing that you haven't been through. You know, y'all can't tell me. I'd have been hungry before. I'd have been without before. When I wanted to ask my grandma, I knew my grandma couldn't afford it, so I had to do what I had to do. I've been working since I was 13. So it's a story behind it. It's a story behind everything the person does. But it didn't change me. I'm still the same person. I stand on my, like my granddaddy say, stand on my 2 feet and be a man. You know, that's how the world is. You know,
Right.
And with this violence with the kids, man, what I see is they timid. You know, we wasn't timid like
Okay.
that. You know, they wasn't. It's like the mother's raising them, but the father's not being there. These little guys real timid, and all they know is to kill somebody, shoot somebody. When we was growing up, we can fight a dude, man, and be cool the next hour or next day. You know what I mean? Nowadays, you fight somebody, you really got to watch yourself because they gonna get you.
Right.
They gonna kill you.
Now let me ask you this. Now, that's the advice you would give a young person. Like you're telling your story and you're using the example.
Yep.
Do you think what you just said, your example, coupled with telling your story, do you think that's relevant and it's impactful and applicable when you're talking to adults as well? Because if we're honest about it, yes, there's young people committing violence, but probably majority of the violence is coming from older adults. Basically 18 and over. Okay. What message does S.A.V.E have for adults to stop violence?
Now that's deep. That's kind of deep. Maybe the same message. Maybe the same message, because a lot of the older people, you killing somebody that look like you, man. For one, you killing your brother, you killing your sister, you killing somebody, family member, man. And is it that serious? Do you have to take this person's life, man? Is it that serious? Older people, the older group, you can talk to them a little different. You don't have to pacify them. You killing somebody that look like you, man.
Yeah.
Is it worth it? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
This is a guy you can build with, man. Y'all can nowadays, man. It's so easy to make companies, man. It's ridiculous. You can make a company off your phone, man. You talking about killing this guy, man? Over what? You know what I mean? Shoes, glasses, material stuff. So you can reach them. You can talk to them a little different. You can kick it with them a little different. So just like I say, the stories, and when you stoop down to what they level or what you've been through, I think they gravitate to it a little better instead of talking over them. Talking what they should do. Well, I've been there. Just like you said, you've been there.
Yeah.
They'll listen more. The older crowd will listen more. Man, yeah, I've been there before, man. I've been stranded at school before, man. I couldn't get home when school let out. At fairs. Yeah. It's 4 hours away. You know what I mean? I had a Snickers and a bag of chips, man, for 8 hours.
Right.
The person had to drop her son off and come all the way back up there and get me. So I've been there.
Right.
I sat on my suitcase, my luggage. My family wouldn't come get me. I had nobody come get me. And that would discourage me from not going back to school. So it's a story. It's stories. I believe they'd catch on when they hear your story.
All right. We got 5 minutes till we go ahead and wrap up this session. Then I'm going to go into SPEAKROC's rock solid advice.
Okay.
I got 3 questions for you. Being the man who you are now, Mr. S.A.V.E, save Detroit, save Phoenix, save Baltimore, save whatever, save
right,
America, save the globe.
Right.
For what you've created thus far, you and your wife, if you could talk to the 10-year-old John, what would you tell him?
Wow, that's deep. I honestly wouldn't change what I've been through, man. For what I where I'm at now in my life and what I stand for. And as far as my grandmother, my granddaddy, I probably wouldn't change nothing. I honestly wouldn't change nothing.
Okay.
I think the biggest thing I would change, though, man, I'll be honest. When I was coming out of high school, I wanted to join the Air Force.
But what would you tell 10-year-old John?
That's deep. I never thought about it, Rock. I honestly never thought about it. What could I tell a 10-year-old John? Honestly, I did it all. I went to school, went to college. I worked. That's a good question.
How about this?
That's a real good question.
Make sure you got your finances ordered for all this.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Save, get ready to take care of.
Get your credit together. Yeah, have your credit straight.
There you go.
Nowadays, you got to have credit. It's better than money. So
let me ask you this.
But yeah.
Being who you are, John Williams, Mr. S.A.V.E, if you could talk to your dad with the age you are now and everything that you've accomplished, back to school rallies, basketball tournaments, mentoring programs, what would you tell your dad?
I would ask him why. I would ask him why wasn't he in my life? That's deep. You know, I would ask him, you know, what was the reason? Because I never got a reason why he didn't want to be in my life. I wasn't no bad kid, so I was one of them kids you'd probably be, you know, proud to say that's your son. So I would ask him why, you know, why would he do me like that? Why did he do me like that? You know, and then knowing my mother passed away, and you let my grandmother raise me, what kind of man to do that? You know, so and then it hurt me more because I don't have kids of my own to show that same love that I missed out when I was coming up. So I would ask him why.
Okay. Yep. Last question. John Williams, Mr. S.A.V.E. If you can have a moment with your friend, 2 minutes, your friend that passed away tragically, unfortunately, here it is, 2019, and S.A.V.E. Detroit, and S.A.V.E., excuse me, is where it is. What would you say to him?
Leave them streets alone. Yeah, because you ain't got no friends in the streets like that. Especially not what he was doing. Leave them streets alone. Yep. Because what happened to him, it wasn't nothing but the streets. Because he had love just like me. Because he was a ball player too. Actually, he was almost, I ain't going to say he was better than me. I ain't going to jump out there like that. But he was my big man. So he was pretty good. So I tell him leave them streets alone because what he was doing, it was only 2 things that was going to happen to him anyway. Come to find out when because like I said, I was away. I didn't know. But I tell them leave them streets alone. They're not playing right in the streets now, you know. So I told them leave them streets alone.
Got it.
It was deep.
Close me out with this. Where's your next event?
Okay. Yeah. We got a Stop the Violence basketball game, December 7th. I hold it at the Coleman Young Center, and all the proceeds go to 3 families that I adopt. Each Christmas I adopt 3 families and buy all the toys and stuff for the kids for Christmas. Yep. So December 7th, I did it different this year. I got 2 other games before S.A.V.E. Detroit and my homeboy King. His team is called Killing His Whack. He kind of like do the same thing I do because he had a homeboy that got killed. So we play each other, man. It's all in fun, man. We just raising money to do for families, man. Every year. This is my 2nd year, but I've been doing it for like 5 years now. Okay. But I just hooked up with Killing His Whack. And this is our 2nd year doing it. All right. Shout out to my boy King, man.
That's what it is. All right. Now, I want you to tell everybody, look, I'm sorry, I'm going to put you out there, man. John was supposed to bring me some gear.
They know they're going to be tripping because I get this every day.
And watch this. And I was buying it. I'm buying gear. Hey. He still didn't bring it. But with that being said, because it's such a dope logo, it's such a dope message.
Thanks, man.
How do people follow you on social media, and how do they order S.A.V.E. Detroit gear?
Either you can go on our website www.savedet.com, or you can reach me at Facebook, John Williams, and my Instagram is S.A.V.E. Detroit.
That's what it is.
Yep, that's what it is.
I appreciate you, John. Thanks for coming through.
I appreciate you, man. I appreciate